This is my advice for women who want to be insanely successful and want to win and get to their bag and make their own money and do their own thing. Don't date men. Don't date right now. Just don't date. I want to talk about this because it's a touchy subject, but I just personally believe that if you're trying to like really make it as a woman, you can't date a man at the same time and do that. And here's why. Men are very, very, very distracting, and they're also like energy soul sucking people, right? So when women date men or they have a boyfriend, and just naturally, like, we're nurturers, right? So we want to nurture them, take care of them. Like, that's just how we are. Well, that's how I am. I can't speak for everybody else, but that's how I am. And when you step back and decenter men from your life and make yourself like the center of your entire world and make the priority of your entire existence you and becoming successful, the success will come so much faster. I stopped dating about 2 years ago. I have not dated anyone in 2 years, and how drastically different my life has become for the better is quite literally insane. I don't even know how to explain it. I make so much money, way more money than I ever did when I was dating anyone. Career took off through the freaking roof. And the only thing that I can say to that is that I literally decentered men from my life, made my life only about me and my family and my success. And I instantly saw the change. I'm 28 years old. I made my first $100,000 in the stock market this year, growing a business, financially doing so well. Business is going great, and I'm not dating. I literally don't go. I can't even tell you the last time I went on a date, ladies. Like, and I'm not saying, if you want to be my guest, but I'm telling you right now, my biggest advice to any young woman who's really trying to make it out the mud: don't date. It's just a distraction. It's a distraction. And then when that man doesn't work out, you're going to sit back and think, wow, all of that time I spent with him, I could have been focusing on me, myself, and my business. And then you're pissed off. So instead, just don't do it all together. And then when you become super successful and you have everything you want and, you think that it's your time, then you can start dating. But advice for girls who are trying to make it: don't. Just don't.
The moment a woman stops making herself constantly available for male attention, opportunities start finding her. Not because the universe suddenly changed, because she did. She stopped pouring her time, energy, emotions, and mental space into a man who wasn't contributing to the life she actually wanted. I don't even care if the man is contributing to the life you actually want. At some point in life, women, ladies, girls, we have to stop giving males attention for at least some point in time in our life. I don't care if it's 3 months, 6 months, a year. I would prefer 6 months to a year. And when that happens, something interesting begins to unfold. We start noticing opportunities that were there all along. Let's talk about it. One thing I've noticed about women who are constantly elevating their lives is that they become extremely protective of their attention. They understand that attention is a currency. Every text message, every situationship, every unnecessary argument, every person you're trying to impress costs you something. It may not cost you money, but it costs you focus, emotional energy, confidence, creativity, and time. It even costs you your exclusivity. When you stop entertaining men who aren't aligned with your future, when you stop entertaining men, you create space, a lot of it. And life has a funny way of filling empty space with something better. That's the point. When you stop entertaining men, you're freeing up, you're creating space. And life is going to fill that space with something better. That something might be a promotion, a new business idea, a new friendship, a mentor, a new client, a scholarship, a networking opportunity, or simply becoming the version of yourself that was buried underneath all the distractions. Did I say distractions? Distractions. For one, your attention shifts from people to possibilities. When you're constantly checking your phone, waiting on replies, overthinking conversations, or trying to decode mixed signals, men are very good at that one. Your brain stays occupied. Psychologists often describe attention as a limited resource. The more of it that's tied up in emotional distractions, the less remains for problem solving, creativity, learning, and pursuing meaningful goals. When that mental bandwidth is freed up, you naturally begin to notice more opportunities that previously went overlooked. You start applying for jobs, researching new investments, learning new skills, starting businesses, taking courses, networking. The opportunities didn't just magically appear, they were always there. You just finally had enough mental space to recognize them. You become more reliable to yourself. A woman who keeps promises to herself starts trusting herself. Instead of canceling workouts because someone texts or someone threw your mood off, men are very good at that. They see you on your workout journey and you've been going hard for 2 weeks straight. They're going to go and do something to make you sad and not want to work out. Not only not wanting to work out, it's going to make you overeat. Men are very good at that. So instead of delaying business plans because somebody wanted attention, instead of canceling workouts because someone did something to throw you off your square, instead of putting dreams on hold for inconsistent people, she follows through. You follow through. And over time, that consistency builds confidence. Confidence changes the way you walk into interviews. Confidence changes the way you walk into rooms, into venues, into onto a stage where people are. The way you negotiate, the way you introduce yourself, the way you carry yourself in rooms filled with opportunity. People respond differently when they sense certainty. And guess how you're going to get that certainty? When you keep promises to yourself, when you are reliable to yourself. You know you got you. You know you got your back. And you even become more interesting. Ironically, the less your life revolves around dating, the more your life expands. You're reading books and traveling, you're working out, building businesses, you're staying consistent with saving money. You're staying consistent with learning new skills, taking yourself on dates, meeting new people, developing hobbies. You become someone with stories, with experiences, with wisdom, with purpose, and that opportunities often come through interesting, engaged people because they're constantly placing themselves in those environments where growth happens. That is how women are getting ahead. Why women have more opportunities when they stop entertaining men? Because you start saying yes to yourself. Every time you stop saying yes to distractions, you can say yes to something that actually moves your life forward, to something that actually moves the needle. Yes to applying to jobs. Yes to investing. Yes to applying for those grants and those scholarships and for going back to school. Yes to creating content. You see what I'm doing right now? Yes to therapy. Yes to healing. Yes to rest. Yes to networking. Yes to learning. Yes to showing up for yourself. Yes to that meal plan you're following. Yes to going home and eating that meal that you prepped for yourself to get your protein and your macros and your micros. And now you're saving even more money. Small decisions repeated consistently create entirely different lives. And like I said, women get more opportunities when they stop entertaining men. Why? Because your standards rise. Women stop accepting crumbs in one area of their lives, and it becomes harder to accept crumbs anywhere else. Women stop settling for low paying jobs. They stop settling for toxic friendships. We stop settling for poor treatment. We stop settling for environments that don't appreciate our value. And that even comes with family. I'm telling you, a man can throw you off your square so bad that you're accepting BS from him. You keep accepting BS from your family. He's holding you back even further so he can keep you. Have y'all watched the documentary Behind the Rage? One of the men admitted to putting fear inside of a woman because he was scared she was going to leave him. He saw her potential and she didn't even see it. Higher standards naturally attract better environments because you're no longer volunteering to remain in the wrong ones. Women get more opportunities when they stop entertaining men because you start investing in yourself instead of chasing validation. Imagine putting all the time you spent worrying about someone else's opinion into yourself, learning a new skill, starting a side business, building your credit, improving your health, reading, creating content, day trading, building multiple income streams. You can throw something you can just throw something out there to a man you're dealing with. And you'll be like, well, I'm thinking about starting a day trade. He might come and say, because women are naturally more ambitious and more like we get the ball rolling on things. He might come and say, nah, I heard people be losing their money on stuff like that. That was 3 years ago when you first told him about that. Do you know where you could be right now if you had started day trading? You probably could have been making bank. Even if you're not making bank, you would have learned so much more about day trading. And with a woman, I have confidence that we would be doing something with that skill, 3 years worth of that skill, but that man didn't want you to exceed him. He didn't want you to go past him and leave him. And instead of him doing the work to meet up with you and catch up with you and stay on your level, he wanted to keep you down with him so he could feel comfortable and not intimidated. So he told you no, he shot your idea down. Creating content, building multiple streams of income. Those investments compound. Y'all know what I tell you about compounding investments, compounding interest. Months become years. Weeks become months. Days become weeks. Years become a completely different life. The woman who seems lucky is often a woman who consistently invested in herself while everyone else was distracted chasing these men and chasing validation. That is why I say women get more opportunities when they stop entertaining men because we become emotionally available for opportunity. We become emotionally regulated. Opportunity doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it's just a simple little conversation, an invitation somewhere, a recommendation, a random email, a person who notices your work. But if your emotional energy is constantly consumed by stress, confusion, and inconsistency, you may miss what could change your life. And we all know men bring you stress, confusion, and inconsistency. We're going to keep it a buck and we're going to say it how it is. All men till there's no men. Peace makes room for possibility. The calmer you are in life, the easier it is to recognize what truly belongs in your life. So here's what I've learned. The goal is never to stop entertaining men to prove a point. It was never that. The goal was to become so invested in yourself, in your own life, that your purpose becomes louder than the distractions. When your energy returns to you, your confidence grows, your discipline grows, your finances are going to improve and grow. Your network expands, it grows. Your opportunities increase, they grow. Not because life suddenly became unfairly generous, no, but because you finally became available for the life you were supposed to be building all along. A man can see you building something good and he gonna knock you down. If he don't feel like you dumb enough to let him take over, he's gonna knock you down and He's going to help you. What word am I looking for? He's going to help it take longer. I can't get the phrase right now, but he's going to make sure it takes you longer. Or he's going to make sure you eventually don't do it. Protect your peace, protect your attention, protect your future. Because the life you're praying for deserves your full focus. This is Pretty Girl Rich Era, where we heal, level up, and become the best version of ourselves. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, loves.